Okay, can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Okay, so Agile Inception. So what the hell is all this about? First of all, not sure if you guys have seen my earlier session which you attended, which was Why Agile. It's a long time back. But if you haven't seen it, then there is a recording available on the Agile Waters YouTube channel. So go and see that in your spare time. Now, when I did that session about why Agile, there the idea was that you are talking to an organization. So you are talking to a wider audience, right? Which means, doesn't matter if it's a C-suite, doesn't matter if it's a middle-level management, doesn't matter it's, your Scrum teams or whoever it is. But there, the audience was a very large audience. So it was across the organization. This session today is about Agile Inception. So the idea is that your audience this time, and remember, you are not my audience. This is for your audience. So if you are a Scrum Master or you are an Agile coach or you are an Agile delivery manager or all da-di-da-di-da, I mean, all these are labels. End of the day, the work is the same. So if you are talking to your fresh new Scrum team, okay, so this is basically directed, or the target audience is for you, it's a new Scrum team, all right? People, maybe that organization for so many years has been Prince to Waterfall, and now they've gone into Agile. So the whole idea is to introduce an Agile project in a manner which is acceptable to them. Don't forget that the same team has been working Prince 2 and Waterfall for donkey's years. Now suddenly they've got this new animal called Agile. They say, hang on, what is this? How do we tackle this? How do we handle this? So the idea when we say Agile Inception means you are introducing that concept of Agile, the idea of Agile. Now, you don't want to break walls. You don't want to break down people. You don't want to break their structures. So it is a kind of meld, M-E-L-D, meld, to kind of give them a level of comfort that, hey, I'm not here to break down things. I'm not here to break your house. I'm not here to break down your all structures. And I'm not here to break down what you've been doing for all these years. I am here to help you to get better. So that is where we start. That's what Agile Inception is all about. So what I'm going to do here today is not just talk to you about how to do that, but I'm going to give you an example. So what I am doing is essentially informing or sharing with you when I started with one fresh new Scrum team. How did I start? So this was quite a number of years ago. I was, as most of you know, I work on a project for UK government, and most of these projects are, high profile and highly sensitive and top secret and da-di-da-di-da and all that kind of bullshit. But anyways, the point is, so I can't give you names, I can't give you details, but I shall try and make it as explanatory as possible. So this project was to do, I'm sure most of you must be aware that we have, it's been almost more than a decade, almost 15 years now, that the UK has moved to what we call or what we recognize as the digital world, right? So about 15 years ago, this idea came about that, we had on the highways, we call them motorways. So on the UK's highways, on the motorways, we now have, no, we don't have now, we've had them for the last 10, 15 years. We've got cameras everywhere. So the idea is to monitor not just the traffic, monitor loads of stuff, the traffic, whether there are too many cars on the road or whether there are too many trucks on the road, and how can we handle that? And if there's an accident, then the camera records it, the police can quickly reach there, and if somebody is hurt, an ambulance can reach, and so on and so on. Now, this same technology was, we thought, well, we're doing all this for the people, we're doing all this for the traffic. But sometimes, a lot of times, you also have what we call as road problems. Okay, so sometimes maybe some portion of the road, which may not be the highway, it might be the leeway or the off way. I'll give you an example. Let us say, since most of you are from India, let us say you're traveling from Bombay to Pune, okay, Mumbai to Pune. Now you don't. When we say if I say I'm going from Mumbai to Pune, I am. Let us think of it this way. I'm not just saying Pune. I don't mean the heart of the city. I don't mean Shukravar Pet. Okay, it might be I'm going from Bombay to Pune, but I am going to get off. Let us say, for example, I want to my destination is not the heart of Pune. It's not the Pune city. I maybe want to go to Hinjewadi, or I want to go to Baner. Okay. Now, these are all suburbs of Pune. They are not the heart of Pune. So I'm not going to go right into the heart of the city of Pune, but somewhere just before that, I'm going to take a offshoot, an offline, and go into Baner, or I'm going to take an offline and go into Hinjewadi. Now, maybe that particular road today is got some construction going on. It's got some blockage going on. Maybe they've dug up the road. Maybe they're laying some drainage pipes. Maybe some kind of work. So that was what this was about. The idea was to inform not only the people doing the construction, but to inform the drivers, the motorists or the truckwala or whoever, that hey, if you are planning to go to Baner, or if you're planning to go to Hinjewadi, please be mindful that there is some road construction going on, right? The idea was to create a safe way of driving. So that was the project. Now I am going to how I introduced this, the software which was made for this project to work, and that is what I did. And how did I introduce? Because this, like I said, it was the first time they were going agile. It was the first time, it was the first Scrum team. So how do we start? Hang on, what here? So that's about me. Of course, this is being recorded, and I shall be sharing this. I shall be, sharing this entire my PowerPoint with Vijay, and he'll be able to share it with other people as well. That's about me. So, inception. As usual, when we do agile, we always say how, what, where, and why. So how are we going to do this? What are we going to do? Where are we going to do this? And why are we going to do this? So that is where we start with the inception. So the inception slide deck, like I said, I'm going to share with you how I presented it to my first Scrum team, what I said, what I did, and how I introduced the entire idea to them, right? So this is a template, of course, and then once I've shared this with you guys, you can create your own slide deck, you can create your own templates, you can create your own, the way it would, because obviously what you will do is for your project, for your organization, for your team. I'm just showing to you what I did for my organization, for my team, for my project. So that's the template. The first, obviously, you put in the project name and you put in your sponsors. So what the project is about and who the sponsors is. Because your sponsor doesn't mean the guy who's just paying the bills. It also means, you're doing it for your organization. The sponsor may be your organization. So we start with why are we here? Why the hell are we here? So my first slide, which I show to the fresh, brand new Scrum team is, hey, hang on, why are we here? Why the hell are we here? So the important reason, number one, number two, and number three. When you always start with them, give them three important reasons why we are here. The idea is not that they are not fools. They are not stupid. The reason to give these three important reasons is to bring their mind into focus. Why are we here? Why are we doing this project? So these are the three important reasons. There can be 15 reasons, there can be 10 reasons, there can be 50 reasons. What is the three most important things? Why are we here? Why are we doing this project? So, and the number one reason for doing this project. So there, like I said, there might be 3, 5, 10, 15, 50 reasons, but there has to be one kind of, the core. Why are we doing this? So that is very important. They must know the core reason as well, despite the other factors which we're going to talk about. So why are we here? So since we were talking about, this was to do with roads, so I will say better road access, regulatory compliance, better road access. I just explained to you that, maybe that road is under construction, maybe we have dug up that road to lay a drainage pipe, we have dug up that road for some other reason. The second is regulatory compliance. So what do we mean by regulatory compliance? We all know that a road has, we got laws, we got traffic rules, so they must be obeyed. So while we are digging up that road or whatever we are doing, we have to be sure that we do not give any chance to the drivers of whether it's a car, whether it's a truck, whether it's a bus. It should not be, whatever work we are doing should not be of such a nature where they have to break the law. So they must be within the law. Then the logistics tracking. Okay, so we know from our previous studies that, okay, so many number of cars, trucks, buses are traveling on this motorway, on this highway, right? And we have got some kind of idea that, okay, mornings, it's about so many cars, so many trucks, afternoon, so many cars, so many trucks, and evening, so many cars, so many trucks. So we got a kind of ballpark figure about what kind of traffic we're expecting. That's important because when we're talking about digging up that road, we have to make sure that whatever diversion we build is able to take that traffic. You can't wish away the traffic and you can't stop people from traveling. So we must be mindful of the logistics and then the efficiency, right? So end of the day, why are people on the motorway? Why are people on the highway? Because they want to get from A to B. Like I gave the example, Bombay to Pune, they want to go somewhere. They're not just there for the heck of it. They've got, maybe somebody's got a meeting somewhere. Maybe the truck wala has to deliver his cargo somewhere, and he has to do that on time. So we can't do something which is going to reduce the efficiency. And like I said, the core reason, the number one reason, safety. We must do whatever we are doing to ensure the safety of the people who are using that motorway, who are using that highway, be that a car driver, be that a bus driver, be that a truck driver. So safety is the core reason. This is where I start. So I've given them a kind of overview about why are we doing this software, what are the purposes. So why are we here? We want to make this software so that we give better road access. We are doing this software so that we ensure regulatory compliance. We are doing this software keeping in mind what the logistics are, how many cars, how many buses, how many trucks are going to be on that road. How do we ensure that their efficiency is not lost? And overall, the core thing, safety. Whatever we are doing, we should ensure that there are no accidents. No car wala, no truck wala, or somebody has an accident because of us. So our software must keep all that in consideration. The next is the elevator pitch. So we first gave the idea to the team about, hey, why are we here? This is what we're looking at. This is the kind of stuff we want to do. This is the kind of software we want to build. This is what we want to achieve. And now we come to the elevator pitch. So what do we do in the elevator pitch? In the elevator pitch, we do why, you remember we went back at how, what, where, why. So for whom this is? Why are we doing this? Who is the target customer? Right? The statement of need or opportunity. Why do we need to do this software? What is the need for it? Or what is the opportunity for it? The project name. So there has to be some kind of project name. I mean, we can call it road safety, or we can call it, the road monitoring or whatever. So give a project name to that. And the product category, right? What category does this come in? When we say roads, roads is a lot of things. It can be a side road, it can be a main road, it can, in our case, this is a motorway, what we call highway in India. So what product category are we talking about? And what is this our software going to address? What are the key benefits? What are the compelling reasons? Now I've here said to buy, but of course, when government makes something, it's not for somebody, it's not for sale to somebody, it's for the public. But like I said, your project might be you are making something to sell. Your company or your organization wants to sell it, wants to sell that software. So what are the key benefits and what is the compelling reason? Why will somebody want your software? Why will somebody want what you are trying to do? Right? And what are the primary competitive alternatives? Right? So why is our software, or how is our software going to be different from the competition? If I say I'm going to make something, I'm going to make this fantastic piece of software, which is going to do so and so, so and so, so and so, and somebody puts up his hand and say, hang on, there's already 4 people out there doing something similar. So I need to tell my team how we are going to be different. How is our software going to be better, superior than what is already available, right? I must have my software, what I'm planning. We must have something which is different from what XYZ is doing. So this is where your elevator pitch starts. Now, like I said, what I did, the statement of primary differentiation. So when we say, how are we different? We need to define how we are different. Don't just say, I'm different from Google. I'm different from Amazon. How are you different from Google? How are you different from Amazon? What extra thing, what better thing are you doing? What fantastic thing are you doing that those people are not doing? So these are the points to be covered. Now, how I did that is, in my case, here. So we are doing this for individual construction teams, right? Because the focus was to start with the construction. The informing the actual drivers was the secondary thing. The first thing was the construction team should know that, hey, this is where we are going to work. This is the side road which we are going to dig up. What is it going to entail? Is it going to cause problem to other people? So for the construction team, why? So need track road access on construction site. So they need to know, the teams, the guys who are actually working on that piece of road, that, hey, we need to track the road access. Because if somebody, like I said, he's going from Bombay to Pune, but he's not going into the city, he wants to actually go to Baner, we need to make sure that he's still able to get to Baner, even though we have dug up the road. So we must create the diversion or whatever we need to do to make sure that his access is not broken. He should be able to get to his destination, right? So then what do we do? So the road closure systems. Okay, if we are going to dig up this road and if we are going to do some work on it, we are going to close that portion of the road. Have we thought about the diversion? Have we thought about where they are going to go? Again, the software needs to cover all this, right? Then the safety communication too. Because end of the day, when I said, we also have to inform the driver, whether it's a car driver or a truck driver or a bus driver, we need to communicate with them that, hey, if you're going to Baner on the side road, we are doing some construction, we are going to do something, there is a diversion, don't worry. Maybe there will be some delay, 5-10 minutes, because the traffic will pile up, but don't worry, safety is taken care of. And informs the crews when the road will be closed. So it should inform not only the construction team, but also the drivers that, hey, this is the time. Maybe we have scheduled that, okay, from 12 noon till 4 o'clock, we are going to be working on this piece of the road. So that information must be shared with everybody so that people know that, hey, for these 4 hours, this road is going to have some problems. Let me keep that in mind when I plan my travel. And the current, why I am different? Because today we have a current paper-based system. Instead of that, our software is going to inform them electronically, whether by on the mobile or whether on his device, on his tracking, on his navigation device or whatever. So instead of depending on paper, our software is going to give them instant information electronically by the internet or whatever means you have. And our product is web-based. Yeah, so our software is web-based and we can be accessed by all contractors anywhere, anytime. So since we are no longer a paper-based system, we are doing this as a software. We are going to put it on the internet. It's web-based and it can be accessed anytime. So there is no such thing as, oh, I don't know what's going to happen. Go on the internet and check it out. So that's your elevator pitch. Now we come to the product box. So what is the product box? So we need to tell the team, this is the product we are making. Yeah, end of the day, that software must have a product name. And then we say the fun picture is there just to kind of illustrate what we're trying to do. There has to be a slogan. Like I said, we can have safety or whatever. And then we list the benefits that these are the three, like I said right at the beginning, the three prime benefits. That slogan there was the core, why we are doing what we are doing. So here what it looked like. So I put my product name as motorway control. Yeah, because we were talking about highways, the motorway control. And for a fun picture, I've used your friendly on-site traffic cop because that cop is there to make sure that, you're not disturbed, nothing happens. And the safest way to control traffic, I hope you can see my screen. On the construction site, instant access anywhere, anytime. Yeah, so I told you three important things which we want to tell. The first is instant access anytime, anywhere, because we're doing this on the web. You can see it anytime, you can see it from anywhere, as long as you have access to the internet. A headache-free setup and administration. There's no paperwork, there's no forms to fill, there's nothing to do. You just open your app, you see it, and you go ahead with that. And the reason is, like we said, our core slogan was the safety, so fewer accidents. If drivers, whether you're a car driver, bus driver, or a truck driver, if you have advance information that yes, this road is going to have problems between 12 o'clock and 4 o'clock, I'm ready for it, I'm prepared for it, the chances of accidents are fewer. And fewer missed deliveries. Like I said, it's not only the cars, but for example, the truck driver. Now, truck driver has got a target. He has to deliver his cargo by so and so time. So at least he knows in advance that yes, this road to Baner is going to be shut down for 2-3 hours. He can plan for that, maybe do an earlier start, maybe in advance inform his customer or his delivery point that hey, there is this problem on the Bane road, I'm going to be half an hour late. So people are prepared for it. That's our product box. Then we go to the not list. So what is the not list? So this is basically what we're talking about is what we know, so what is in, what we're not very sure of, what is out, yeah, and what is unresolved. So maybe there are some factors while we are building this software, we know that some things we know, we are 100% sure. Yeah, we know it. It's, we are absolutely sure about it. Some things are out in the sense that, okay, maybe not, I don't know. We might be there, we might not be there. And there might be some issues which are unresolved. That, hey, I need something, but I don't have it today. So, in scope, out of scope, and unresolved. So, in this particular case, in the software which I was making, in scope, administer road closure requests, display road closures by date. Like I said, this is going to be, the Bane road is going to be closed today from 12 o'clock till 4 o'clock. Email distribution list. So the concerned people get the email to inform them, right? The basic admin and the reporting. So this is in scope. Out of scope is material tracking, delivery scheduling, and automated traffic routing. Because that's not the job of us. That's not what my software is going to do. Material tracking, my software is not good. That's for the truck driver to handle. Yeah, whether he's going to reach on time or not. The delivery scheduling again is for the truck driver. If he's going to reach on time or not, he has to inform his delivery point. And automated traffic routing, but the automated traffic routing will be done by the police. It's not done by me. It's the highway authority which will do that. Now, what are the unresolved things? So the level of map precision. See, how precise are our maps? We don't know because we are dependent, for example, on Google Maps or maybe on the archaeological survey or the geographical survey, right? So we can't be 100% sure that our maps are 100% accurate because we don't make them, right? The mapping technology to be used is unresolved because are we going to use Google Maps? Then what will we need to do that, right? Then the integration with legacy construction work permit system, because there was this legacy system, the old days, which was all paper based, and there was a permit system and and how will we integrate with that? And finally, the source of satellite imagery, because yes, how does Google Maps produce Google Maps? How does Google Maps tell you the route and so on? Is based on satellite imagery. Now the satellites don't belong to us, right? So we don't have any direct access to the satellite imagery. So we have to be dependent on what Google tells us or XYZ tells us, right? So this is basically what you are doing throughout this is you are making that team, bringing them that level of comfort so they don't feel out of sorts. Remember, in the old days, all this was not known to them. These were facts which they came as they came up and they came across a hurdle because they used to call it a hurdle because they never knew it was going to be there. Here we are already telling them, I'm telling my Scrum team, look, this is what is in scope, this is what is out of scope, and these are unresolved. I know it. The organization knows it. Everybody knows it. Don't worry. We know that these are the unknown factors, the unresolved factors. So this was just like I said, these are all examples for your organization, for your project. You will have different things to consider. The other thing which I always talk to them is about the neighbors. Your project community is always bigger than you think. You're not alone. Yeah. Now here what you see in the center is this core team. But the core team is the guy who actually, this is your Scrum team. These are the guys who are doing that stuff for you. But they're not alone. There's some group here, there's some group here, there's some group here, there's some group here. So there are other people also involved, right? And as I say, Agile is all about collaboration and cooperation. So we have to engage, we have to interact with other teams as well, right? So who are they? Where are they? Why are they? How do we interact with them? And how should we, think about them? So your Scrum team must be made aware. So here is an example which we did. So this was, like I said, my core team, but hang on. There is the AI security guys, there's the infrastructure guys, where the software is going to be hosted. Then the help desk guys, because if somebody has a problem, who's going to answer that? Who's going to interact with the end user? The database team, that the people who are going to store the data and make sure it's always available, right? The training guys who are going to train the people to use, from our side, not the end user, but from our side, who is going to train them. The satellite imagery guys, remember we spoke about, that's an unresolved issue about the satellite imagery. So where is the satellite imagery going to come from? How is it going to be, presented to us? How are we going to use that information? How will we integrate it into our software and so on? So again, the whole idea is to bring a level of comfort to your Scrum team. That look, you're not alone. These are all the other people, and we are going to, yes, that the job of interaction is mine. I'm the Scrum Master. So it is my job to, interact with these other people and get whatever information you want. Don't worry. I'm your Scrum Master. I'm there. I will help you. But when you need any of these people, let me know. Give me a shout. Right? Then the technical solution. So we talk about, this is again, I keep on repeating this. The whole idea behind this is to bring a level of comfort to your Scrum team. Remember, they are the first time they are doing Agile. So far, they were working in isolation, and we are trying to bring in that whole sense of collaboration and cooperation. So we talk about the technical solution. Yeah. What are the technologies? What are the language? Are we going to make this in what? In C? Are we going to write it in Java? Are we going to write it in .NET? What is the language we are going to use? And whatever language we are going to use, what are the libraries which we will need? What are the tools that will be needed? What is the technology that will go behind it? Because if we're talking about C and Java, we're talking open source. If we're talking about .NET, we're talking about the Microsoft stack. So are we talking about open source? Are we talking about Microsoft stack? Are we talking about the Java stack? Is it going to be Oracle and SAP based? Where is the database going to sit? Da-di-da-di-da. So all those kind of things. And then finally, before we go on, we always talk about these two things, the danger. Is there any danger? Are we missing something? And then keep in mind what is out of scope, what we are not supposed to look at. So again, coming back to the project which I was doing, we talk about, So here we are. So we were doing this using C# and MVC.NET. Our server was going to be SQL server, and these are the various technologies and what we're using. And now here at the last, you see the ArcGIS, yeah, the Geographical Information System. The images may be out of date. Now, first question I will ask my team, is everyone cool with these tools? Are you guys okay with this? Does anybody have any doubts? Does anybody have any apprehensions? Right? Obviously, they are the first time Scrum team, but then just again and again, I keep repeating, give them that level of comfort. That, okay, this is the language we are going to use. This is the database we are going to use. These are the tools we're going to use. Are you guys comfortable with that? Right? And then we talk about the external DMZ, the IIS, the SQL server, the ArcGIS, and kind of give them the rough idea of what the architecture is going to look like. I'm not an architect. I'm a Scrum Master. But at least I give them the idea that, hey, this is the kind of architecture we're looking at. This is the kind of tools we're going to use. This is going to be our database, SQL server. These are the kind of other subsidiary, the tools which we're going to use. Are you guys okay with this? Right? And you see at the bottom, I've said beware. So what is the beware? The beware is just to remind them, don't forget, we had this source of satellite imagery, which was unresolved. And without that, our software is not going to work, right? So we also give them that reminder that, hey, we don't have everything 100%. We are not, it's not something that we are fine, we're okay, everything is not there. So that is the reason of putting this sign of beware here. That beware, keep in mind that we don't have all the answers, right? Once we've done that and they've kind of digested this, yes, yeah, we are okay with this. Oh, yeah, we have on our team, we have got a C# guy, we've got an MVC guy, we've got a database SQL architect with us, and say, don't worry, man. It's all fine and dandy. Great, fine. The next thing is to tell them the unknown things, the scary things. So what are you guys scared about? Is there anything which you are apprehensive about? Is there anything which you think, yeah, we have like we just said, we've got your C# guy, and we've got the MVC guy, we've got the database chap, and so on. Is there something which you're scared? If there's something which you think, is unknown and you got apprehensions? So what are those scary things? Again, list them down in the order of importance. What is the first thing which you find unknown and scary? What is the second thing? What is the third thing? And they might come up with different answers. Like I said, I'll keep on repeating this. This is going to be different for you, dependent upon your organization, the product which you are making, the software, the technology which you are using, and so on and so on. But they will come up with, okay, we have some things. So stuff we lose sleep over. Yeah. This is now, you have to elicit from the team. You have to find from your Scrum team that what are they worried about. We have spoken about all these things. This is what we are doing, da-di-da-di-da. This is the technology we're going to use. This is the architecture idea I've given you. But now I have to listen to them. What are they? What are their apprehensions? What are they worried about? What are they thinking about? That, hey, I've got a problem. So, availability of the customer. Yeah. Why do we need the customer? Because the software guys are going to say, hang on. Remember, the software guys, when I say my Scrum team is not only developers, there are QA guys. Yeah, there's a business analyst, da-di-da-di-da. So he's going to say, hang on, how are we going to know that what we produced, is right, is something which is great, which is fantastic, unless we have somebody to check it out. So availability of the customer. In other words, we are kind of talking about UAT, user acceptance testing. Is there a customer, somebody representative of the customer available to check out that, hey, what we are doing is the right thing, right? So that is the first worry for, I'm just giving you live example. This is what happened when I did this project with my first Scrum team. And this was the first question they said. Not having a dedicated dev test environment. This was the second thing they brought up. Hey, we don't have a dedicated dev test environment. That environment is being shared by other people in the organization. What if I check in my code and somebody else messes about with it? And you're going to catch my neck. Hey, you didn't do your software properly. I've done my software properly. Somebody else has messed it up. What can I do? So can we have a dedicated environments for us? The dev environment, test environment, only for our project, only for our, whatever software we are making. So this was another point they raised. Then not having a co-located team, right? Remember this, I live in the UK, but two of my developers were sat in India, right? So these guys say, look, these two chaps are sat in India. Yeah. I said, yes, don't worry. They'll be working as per the UK time zone. Yeah, but their UK time zone, it's not easy to have a chat. It's not like we are sitting across the table and clear a doubt or something. We have to, be sure that we understand, and, their culture is different. Our culture is different. Both of us speak English, but what they understand, what we understand can be different. So we don't have a co-located team. Of course, like I said, this was 10, 15 years ago. Today, everybody is work from home, and everybody is you no longer have co-located teams since the COVID times. But this was another thing which they brought up. And not having a full-time team members. They said, hang on, for example, in my case, they said the business analyst, he just comes for 2 hours every morning and he goes away. Yeah. Now, we might think, why do you need the business analyst? Because, if you have got some doubt, if you have got some query, who do we ask? Because he comes at 9 in the morning, 11 o'clock, he leaves, right? So after 11 o'clock, if I have a query, I have to wait till 9 o'clock tomorrow. Ne? So, that is another problem. And having 10 analysts and 2 developers. Right? This is just this was not really the case, but it was a fact, because the reason what they said was because it was not one business analyst, it's more than one. And they said, we have spoken with one chap and he has confirmed everything, and tomorrow another analyst comes and he tells a different story, right? How do we manage that? So again, remember, in your organization, in your project, with your team, they will have different kind of, apprehensions. This is, I'm giving an example of what I had faced. And betting the farm on a technology that we have no in-house expertise around, right? So what they meant by this was that what had happened was that, as I said, we were using SQL Server. And they said, well, it's the first time that we are going to use SQL Server, because previously they were using a legacy technology. It was an IBM database. And said SQL, we are fine. It's a database is a database is a database, but we don't have somebody who's an expert in that. Yes, we have a database architect, we have a DB, software engineer, but they're not experts, right? They are new. Well, okay, not new as in not that they've come just yesterday, but they are fairly new. So this is very important, because as a Scrum Master, you must know what are their apprehensions, what are their fears, what are their doubts, what are their queries, because then you know how to handle it, you know how to bring them to some kind of normalcy. The A team. So the A team is your team, of course. So you got analysts, you got developers, you got project manager, and project manager nowadays you don't have, but in those days we did used to have. And what are the competencies and expectations? So analysts, we hope to be comfortable with just-in-time analysis, likes to test, comfortable with rapid iterative development. On the developer side, we are looking for C# guys, MVC Net guys, jQuery, SQL Server, unit testing, refactoring, TDD, continuous integration, so on. A project manager, like I said, we no longer have a project manager, but responsible for outward-facing communication. Today, that project manager job is done by the Scrum Master, right? So this is the kind of A team which you would talk about, because like I said, that is the core team. And then you associate with all the other, the external guys, whether that's infrastructure guy or architect guys or whoever they are. So make this there so that you have that comfort. Again and again, I keep repeating this, bring a level of comfort to your Scrum team. The next thing is to talk about, how big is this thing? So we're talking in a way about sizing. So we say, well, construction software will take maybe about 3 months, UAT will be 1 week, and training will take 1 week. Remember, this is a guess, this is not a commitment. Once we've gone through this, ship it, we're ready, no problem. So this needs to be discussed as well. Yeah, give them an idea, give them so don't put it down as a target. Don't say, oh, we must do this in 3 months, because don't give them that, that apprehension. But this is what we're looking at. This is what we think. And like I said, this is a guess. This is not a commitment. Now, when you get into sizing, always remember, now again, we have to think in the agile way, right? When we say, how big is this thing? So the perspective. The perspective is, as you know very well, you have heard this before. The optimist says the glass is half full. That's what an optimist says. Yeah. Hey, the glass is half full. The pessimist says the glass is half empty. It's not half full, it's half empty. Right? But if I am there, I'm an agile guy, then how do I look at it? Because this is what I must express to my team. They say the glass is half full. The pessimist says glass is half empty. The agile guy says, hang on, the glass is twice the size it needs to be. Why do you need such a big glass? If that is the amount of, whatever water or whatever you're putting in, why do you want such a big glass for it? You don't need it. So the perspective must be there and explained to them when we talk about, the sizing. When we said this, 3 months and 1 week and da-di-da-di-da, make sure that they have the perspective what you have, right? Then what are the, where can we kind of be flexible? So we call this as the trade-off sliders, right? So feature completeness, the scope, and the stay within budget and deliver project on time, and these are the other important things, the ease of use and so on. So we can say that, yeah, feature completeness, scope, we must be absolutely spot on. Stay within budget, well, maybe not. Deliver project on time, kind of. We're agile, right? We're not Prince 2, we're not waterfall. And high quality, low defects on quality, and so on. So we can do these, we call this as the trade-off sliders, that if you want something more, then somewhere you have to be, a little less strict about it. So where can you flex? As we know in Agile, the Agile triangle, the best place to flex is the scope, right? If you want everything and everything, then we can't stay within the budget, all right? Because that was how Prince 2 worked. It doesn't work like that. The time, yes, because we are agile, we will try and ensure that we're always on time. Quality, no flexibility at all, off. We must deliver 100% quality. Ease of use, no flexibility. We must make it, our software has to be easy to use. Simple, yes, because end of the day, the user, the end user is not a techie. The end user is not, you don't expect him to know technology. So we have to make it simple, make it easy for the guy to use. And detailed audits, yes, we must have audits. Like we have, for example, we produce software, then we have a peer review, we have a checking on that thing by other senior guys. So the detailed audit must be there. And finally, the release. So when do we come to release? So like we said, we spoke about construction, maybe 3 months, UAT 1 week, right? Training. So how are we talking about it? We're saying, okay, roughly, again, like I said, this is a guesstimate. This is not hard and fast. We'll have about 7 people, maybe a front-end developer, an interface developer, a back-end developer, 2 QA guys and a BA guy and so on. Maybe it will take around 3.5 months and it will cost maybe 300,000 pounds, right? Again, like I said, guesstimates. Don't make this a kind of target for the team. There's no targets. So that will be our first release, right? It doesn't mean there's not going to be other releases. That is the first release. The first release, what we want to give, the MVP, the minimum viable product, that we are taking that, okay, we'll take about 3 months, we'll do UAT for a week, we'll do training for a week, and we'll do the first release. Any questions?
Sid, that was a very good presentation. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much.
If you can go to the initial slides, why are we here?
Oops, sorry.
So they are like the business drivers, right?
Yeah, hang on.
So the why are we here? The initial business driver slides.
Oops, I don't know what's happening here. Let me try something else.
Correct.
Yeah.
So this why are we here? The important 3 business drivers you're prepared by you in consultation with the, let's say if you are from a vendor team and you're talking to the sponsor or the client team.
Yeah.
So you prepared these business drivers in consultation with the client team or the sponsor team, right?
Yeah, but I have done the priority, not them. The business will give me 5 things, 10 things. Now I'm talking to my team. So I must give a very concise, as far as possible, concise idea to the team that what are my 3 most important reasons and what is this core reason. Because if I
So-
give my team list of 10, 15 reasons what business has given me, they are going to get confused. So instead of giving them 10, 15 reasons, I am going to give them these are the three important things, focus on this.
So the initial, the three are couple of business driver reasons given by the client only, is it?
Sorry?
The initially, when you got these business drivers, the client has shared with you, client prepared and shared it with you.
Yeah. Because
Okay.
they have said, oh, we want this. They got 10 things in their mind. But when I'm talking to my team, if I give them 10 different things, they are going, what is important here, man? What is really important? You're given 10 things. So I am trying to, what I'm trying to do is bring their focus onto it. And the reason, the way to bring that focus, focus your energies on these three important things. And of course, the core, like I said, is the road. Obviously, it was because it is to do with road. The safety was the core. But what are the important
Correct.
things?
So initially,
Yeah.
correct. So initially, so our team internalized and understood the top three business drivers. They understood, they internalized it. They're
Yeah.
comfortable.
Yeah.
Then when you say like the MVP is about 3 months,
Yeah.
uh, how frequently the business value or the business outcomes, how frequently you guys are able to deliver the business outcomes, every week or every 2 weeks?
Yeah. Well, at the end of every sprint, we do have a demo and review. So maybe by, like I said, 3 months, we're talking about 6 sprints. So maybe by the end of the second sprint, we have delivered at least something from these first three important reasons.
So if you're able to deliver the business value every 2 weeks,
Yeah. Not every
what's the
2 weeks,
variance?
every second sprint. So 4 weeks.
Oh, so I'm assuming the sprint duration is 2 weeks or 4 weeks in your case?
No, 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
So every second sprint, which means 4 weeks, each sprint is 2 weeks. So at the end of the second sprint, which means 4 weeks have gone, at least this one thing we have been able to do.
Fair enough. So after every month, when you're delivering and then when you're measuring the business value,
Yeah.
was the business value measured and business value planned, but the variance is what, almost 95% is closure and the variance was less than 5 to 10%.
Yeah. Well, in my case, yes, we did deliver it. We did deliver on time. But like it will be different for every organization, for every project. I mean, your project may be more complex. We thought that we will do this MVP in 3 months. Maybe in your project, it might take 4 months. It might take 6 months. It's not necessary that you have to do it by 3 months only. It depends on the complexity of what you're doing.
Correct. So in your case, when you deliver once in every month, the business value being measured and client team was ready and they're available, they're competent enough to review and give feedback quickly.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Good. Thanks. I got my answers.
Which I can understand. It's not always the case, but maybe, it's like I said, it's different places. Maybe UK works differently.
Sure. Got it. Sid.
Yeah. Sid, Jiva here. Can I go ahead with my question?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Hang on. I shall stop. I really don't know how to stop this, but anyways, I shall try. How can I stop sharing? Sharwari?
Same way from where you shared, no? At the bottom, there should be stop sharing option.
maybe.
Yeah.
My first question is, assume we have the first sprint starting on Monday, like say coming Monday. Okay.
Yeah.
And this session, Agile Inception session, by when you had conducted this? Like, is it before the sprint one, or is it what time? When
Yeah,
was that?
almost 2 weeks ahead of sprint one.
All right, all right. And
Because you have to give time, for all this to sink in. You just, like I've made a 1 hour presentation here. You do a 1 hour presentation with your team. Don't think they are not going to everything is not going to go in like this.
No, but that depends, right? If it's the start of the project, we are in the middle of a project which is already now 8 months. So people are already in the groove. We do storytelling just after the previous sprint is over. Next sprint, we have 4-5 hours of storytelling and we get going. So it's like, it's subjective.
It is. It depends on, how well familiar your team is.
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah. Thanks. Can I go ahead, Sid?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. Only one. Second question is, I saw the tentative timeline we have given, right? The 3.5 months. I know it's not a commitment, but to arrive at the timeline, did you, conducted any release planning workshop, or is it? How was that made? Sid?
Yes, I did, but not with the team. Please understand, in this particular presentation, we are talking about a fresh new Scrum team.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
They are new to Agile. They are new to Scrum. Don't overload them with all the muck of the organization. They are at this time, they are simply trying to, first of all, come to terms with this change in this, the entire process. All these years they were doing Prince2 and Waterfall. Now suddenly they are changing to this 2-week sprint. They have never even heard the name sprint.
Understood. No. How the timeline was arrived, like 3 months and 3.5 months.
Well, that was between, to be very honest, that was between the product owner, business analyst, and myself. And yes, with the architect.
Acha, okay. It's a kind of a guess. Like, okay, this.
It is a guess. I very clearly said it is a guess. See, if we want to go logically, what happens? Sorry,
Okay.
this might be repetitive for you, but one I am aware of a very big problem, not just in India, it's all over the world.
Yeah.
We don't have the role of a user researcher, which is very important.
Okay.
Right. So what happens is, in the UK, most projects we do have a user researcher. So when the business comes up with an idea, hey, this is what I want. Right. So the first person to interact with the business can be anybody. Yeah, they can be marketing guys, they can be the corporate guys, and the first thing the user researcher does is to try and figure out what the hell do you really want. Right. And because it's like saying, if you tell me, hey Sid, I want chocolate. Yeah, you told me I want chocolate. The user researcher will come to you and say, okay, Jiva, you want chocolate. What do you want? Milk chocolate, coffee chocolate, dark chocolate, white chocolate, raisin chocolate, hazelnut chocolate. What chocolate? Don't just say chocolate. So then you tell him, okay, I want I like milk chocolate. Okay, you like milk chocolate. You want Cadbury? You want Nestle? You want Kit Kat? What do you want? Then you say, okay, I think I'll go for Cadbury, is nice. Acha, you want Cadbury milk chocolate, yeah? You say, yeah, I want Cadbury milk chocolate. Fantastic. You want 50 grams, 100 grams, 300 grams, family pack, Christmas pack? What do you want? You understand? The user researcher is going to go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, trying to figure out what the hell are you looking for. Don't just say chocolate. That the user researcher goes in and finds out this is what you want. And yeah, hang on. Then what he does is he runs a simulation. He runs a simulation with you. And once he has done all that exercise, he brings all that to the business analyst. that I have done my work. In reality, when Jiva said he wants chocolate, is not just chocolate. He gives the full story. He wants milk chocolate made by Cadbury. He wants 300-gram packs. He wants 100 pieces of them, and so on and so on. Then the business analyst picks that up and makes a list. This is really what Jiva wants. Remember, first day Jiva came and said, I want chocolate. It's not only chocolate. He wants a milk chocolate, not any other chocolate. He wants a milk chocolate from Cadbury only. He wants it a 300-gram pack only, and he wants 100 pieces. All that then he goes to the product owner. Boss, I have found out, in reality, this is what Jiva wants. On day one, he just came and said, chocolate. He's not really chocolate. He wants milk chocolate. He wants it by Cadbury only. He wants 300-gram pack. He wants 100, Then the product owner and the business analyst together sit down and translate that into user stories. That to get this chocolate, what Jiva wants, to get it, milk chocolate, Cadbury, 300-gram pack, 100 piece, this is what will be needed. Then they come to the Scrum Master. Boss, now we have got our user stories ready. I say, hang on just a minute. Let me talk to the architect. Why talk to the architect? Because you have said you want this. Now I'm talking in terms of software. You want so and so features. These are the features you want. These are all the particular things you want. Hang on, talk to the architect. Is the server capable? Do you have enough space in the database, or you want to build a new database? These people are going to make this by using JavaScript. Is your server capable of taking JavaScript, or you want to do some patching? Once all that is fixed, then we start the first session with the Scrum team. So that why are we doing all this? So that we know that at least we have thought whatever we could think of, we have covered. My team will not get stuck. My team will not start the software, producing, making the software and then find out, oh, database is not there, man. What do I do now? I need a larger database. It's not available. What to do? So all that we have covered before. Now, at that point is when the architect, product owner, business analyst, and myself, we sit down together 4 hours, and then that is the time we come up with these kind of ballpark figures. Is this going to take 2 months? Is this going to take 3 months? Is this going to take 6 months? Some idea. Not sure if I've answered your question.
Yes, Sid. Yes, it is. And thank you. And I'll leave the space for Shreya, who's raised his hand, her hands. Yeah. Thank you, Sid. Thank you a lot.
Thank you. Shreya?
Thank you, Jiva. First of all, I'd like to appreciate and thank Sid. It was an amazing session and perfectly time boxed. I really loved it. How to the point you've explained everything. It was immaculate. I loved it.
Thank you. It's very kind of you.
So I was just, it was not a question, but a general wondering, what if a project is still going on? Just a scenario, a project is going on, it is under development, we could say, and the team is not agile, obviously, and they've asked me as a Scrum Master to coach the team or to bring the team into agile. I was just wondering, how would that go? What part of this inception would work here? Because it would need a lot of amount of time for them to get on board, first of all, and leave their traditional practices and processes and come to agility, which I am very confident that they will love later on, but the transitioning is going to be so difficult. So I was just wondering which part of it would help and how concise can it become?
Yeah, well, first of all, what I would suggest is go back to my first session, which was about why Agile.
Correct.
Yeah, so the first share that with them.
Correct.
Because the purpose of that session was not to force something down their throat. You cannot make them agile by shoving it down the throat.
That's right.
You have to get their buy-in. You have to get their confidence, faith, as we say in Agile, the CFT, confidence, faith, and trust. Now that can only come slowly. It's not going to come tomorrow morning, but you have to start somewhere. So if you do that first session with them and say, why are we going Agile? Why the hell do we want to go Agile? What is the difference? So first, educate them on that point. Then you can slowly come to today's session that, hey, this is what we are, looking at. And like I said, in your organization, your project, your particular software, it will be different. What I gave was an example. You will have to, adapt it and modify. I said, I'm going to share this slide deck and everything with everybody. And I'm going to give it to Vijay and he will share it with whoever wants it. You make your own slide deck.
Right.
Yeah. Not sure if I answered your.
Yes, of course you have.
Okay, cheers. Thank you. Anybody else? We are a bit over time.
So,
Yes,
Sid, yeah, go ahead, Margaret.
Yeah, so just in the wake of COVID, when everybody's working from home, what has been your experience of we are not co-located, so you know what, we can't tell them, oh, you pick up this task today, you pick up that task today. We don't have a major Scrum board per se, and we're not together. So letting the Scrum team do what they want, development team do what they want is not really working too much, So because we've seen people just disappear and they're not even online. So we have to make rules. Okay, if you're going away for more than an hour, you need to tell us. So what has been your experience for that?
Dear. Where do you live, Margaret?
In Toronto.
Toronto. I'm surprised because in the UK, people are working, almost, this is what, third year now. It's already been 2.5 years that we've been under COVID. But you have tools. I mean, I don't know whether you're using Jira or you're using Azure DevOps or Trello or some kind of collaboration tool.
No, we do have Jira. Yeah, we do have Jira, but it's different to be co-located in one room than to be one person in India, some people in the US, like a distributed team. So in view of that, you can't just say, oh, okay, you know what, we trust you, you do it. It doesn't all, because, human nature is like that, the agency theory.
But that is where the role of the Scrum Master comes. I mean, you absolutely must gain that confidence, faith, and trust of the team, and they have to be, as I say, the Sage Hotu principle: honest, open, transparent, and upfront. So your team must be able to speak with you and tell you honestly, openly, and transparently and upfront that, hey,
No, all that is already done. Like if they're sick and all, but so we have done this. We actually asked them how many hours, how many days you require. So and once they say 2 days, they commit themselves, because we're not there to see, oh, have you done 50%? Like, have you done 100% today? So that's the time we have to. So it's a little bit of SDLC also.
Yeah, it is. End of the day, it boils down to trust, Margaret.
Yeah.
Unless
that's the thing, because it's a huge project, people are consultants and this. So, and because I've not even seen my team, everybody is like so distributed. So I can understand if you are like, if you've been working for some time, at least for 3-4 months. So every time there's a lot of, it's very volatile. People are leaving, coming, So I can understand you need to build a trust. It takes time, but before that, what do you do?
Margaret, you are talking about these days, you're talking about the COVID times.
Yeah. Which is like a hybrid now, and which is going to, I think, stay for some time now.
Let me give you my own example from 11 years ago. No COVID, nobody had even heard of COVID. I'm talking 11 years ago. Now I was working on a software, a project. I was the Scrum Master, right? I had my team distributed in 3 continents across 4 countries and 5 different time zones. And we delivered on time, absolutely 100% quality, no problems. So how did I do that? I'm talking about people in 4 or 5 different countries across 3 continents. There's somebody sitting in North America, as a matter of fact, very, very coincidental in Toronto, right? My database guy is sitting in Utah. My front-end developer is sat in Los Angeles. My back-end developer is sat in India. My interface guy, 2 of them, one is sat in Spain, one is sat in Greece. I'm sitting in UK.
Yeah, I mean, so that's the thing. Like, if you've been in the project for some time, and whereas if there's going to be a lot of turnover frequently because of COVID, that has been the thing, right? They're not getting people, and people are coming and going. They getting double the offers and all. So
Yeah, I know.
for
These are
COVID, we
very
had this
difficult
problem.
times.
There were no people, and our people are just coming and going. So I get what you're saying. At American Express, we had that. We had EMEA Europe, we had Japan, because they work around the world. So
Yeah,
I know where you're coming from, but COVID has changed a lot of even agile rules. So I
yeah,
just wanted to
yeah.
call out.
I can agree. I can understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it was a good presentation, and it's also
Cheers.
nice when
Thank
we
you very
discuss
much.
with our teams.
Any other questions? I shall hand over to Vijay.
Yeah, Sid, I have a last question from my side. Can I ask you?
Yeah, please.
So if you look at any of these agile transformations globally, I have never come across any individual who knows more than 20-25% of the end-to-end agile transformation product development.
Mhm.
So every individual, you may be top down or bottom up, any of the role you are playing, any individual in agile transformation, they know only around 20-25%. It is not possible for anybody to know end-to-end, correct? Sid?
Yeah.
So if you look at such a scenario in your current product development, what was the amount of rework? Approximately what percentage of rework you face every month?
Well, we do have. Let us say I haven't really made a mathematical equation, but I would roughly put it at 7 to 10% TD, technical debt.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Is
this
what we
10%
cover.
of technical debt is because of the miscommunication, not able to understand what somebody is saying, and then the gaps between the tech teams and dev teams or
Yeah.
business teams. Because of
Yeah.
that,
Yeah, because of that. That's about roughly 7 to 10%. So it's technical debt, which has been, a user story which was not fully understood maybe 3
correct.
sprints back, and now somebody has just figured out, no, I don't want it like this, I want it like that. So that is
Sure.
the rework. It's not purely, I mean, it's not that the developer has made a wrong thing. He's not made the wrong software. But what we used to call in the old days as change request.
Correct.
Yeah, only thing is in Agile, we don't call it change request, which is fine. If you want to change, we accommodate change. Agile was designed to accommodate change.
Absolutely. So Margaret says there is an experiment. What is that experiment, Margaret?
Yeah, because that's what Agile is about, right? There's no set rules. If some developer says, maybe we can do it that way. So you give that 10-15% of, that leeway. Okay, let's try it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Right. Thank you very much. I shall hand back to Vijay.
Good. Thanks. Sid, that was a great presentation. Thank you so much. Thanks all
Thank
of
you
you.
very much.
Sid.
Thanks for your kind words.
Good job. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you, Sid. It
Thank
was
you.
amazing presentation, and thank you others for making it quite interactive by asking questions.
Cheers.
It was
Yeah.
very good discussion. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Sid.
Thanks
Have
to
a good
Agile
day.
Audits team. Thank you all. Thanks Sid once again. Yeah. Cheers. Bye.
Thank you.